Life today moves at the speed of scrolling. We wake up, and before the sun greets our eyes, the glow of a tiny screen demands our attention. We scroll, we like, we compare, we consume, until hours vanish like sand slipping through our fingers. But behind all the colors, the noise, and the endless updates, there is a silence we have forgotten, a peace that waits for us, and sometimes the only way to find it is to let go. This is the story of Daniel, a young man who discovered that peace was never lost, only hidden behind the screen. Daniel was like so many of us. He was smart, curious, and connected. Every morning his first instinct was to reach for his phone. Before his feet touched the ground, he had already visited 3 different worlds: the world of news, the world of trends, and the world of strangers sharing their lives. At first it felt harmless, a quick check, a few likes, a comment here and here, but soon the habit grew roots. 10 minutes became 30, 30 became an hour, and without realizing it, his mornings were no longer his own. At night, he found himself unable to rest. His mind buzzed with other people's thoughts, opinions, and achievements. Lying in bed, he would think,
Am I doing enough? Am I falling behind? Why does everyone else seem happier, wealthier, more successful?
Daniel did not know it then, but he was carrying a silent weight, the burden of comparison. Days blurred into weeks. Daniel's attention fractured. He couldn't study for more than 10 minutes without reaching for his phone. He couldn't have a conversation without secretly glancing at the glowing rectangle in his pocket. He couldn't sit in silence without feeling restless. One evening during dinner, his mother said softly,
"Daniel, you are here, but not here."
Her words pierced him. He looked up from his phone and saw her tired eyes. He realized she was right. He was present in body, but absent in spirit. 1,000 voices lived in his mind, but the voice of his own heart had grown faint. The turning point came on a rainy night. Daniel had spent nearly 5 hours online, endlessly scrolling through updates, videos, and posts. When he finally looked at the clock, it was past midnight. His assignments were untouched. His room was dark. His body was drained. For the first time, he asked himself,
Is this living, or am I just consuming?
The question echoed in him like thunder, and in that silence something shifted. The next morning, Daniel did something he had never dared to do. He held his phone in his hands, took a deep breath, and whispered,
Enough!
One by one, he deleted the apps that had chained his attention. The ones that promised connection but left him lonelier. The ones that promised joy but filled him with comparison. When the final icon disappeared, his phone suddenly looked empty. And for the first time in years, so did his mind. The first days were not easy. Daniel felt restless. His fingers twitched, reaching for something that was no longer there. He kept unlocking his phone, only to find nothing. The silence felt heavy. But then something remarkable began to happen. He noticed the chirping of birds outside his window. He noticed the sound of his own breathing when he sat in stillness. He noticed how food tasted richer when he ate without distraction. And slowly the silence turned from heavy to healing. Freed from the endless scroll, Daniel began to rediscover life. When he studied, he no longer jumped at every notification. When he spoke with a friend, he truly listened. When he walked through the park, he saw details he had missed for years. The sway of branches, the laughter of children, the glow of sunlight spilling through the leaves. The world had not changed, but Daniel had. For the first time in years, he was truly present. Weeks passed. Daniel's mind grew clearer, lighter. The constant buzzing of comparison faded. He no longer cared who was on vacation, who was buying what, or who had more likes. Instead, he cared about the people in front of him. He cared about his own growth. He cared about the quiet joys of living, reading a book, journaling his thoughts, sitting with his parents in the evening without distraction. Peace had returned, not as a sudden explosion, but as a gentle sunrise. One afternoon, Daniel sat by a lake. The water rippled softly. The air was calm, and he thought,
How many years did I spend chasing noise when peace was always waiting in silence?
He realized something simple yet powerful. We don't need more voices in our heads. We need fewer. We don't need more comparison. We need contentment. And sometimes the bravest thing we can do is not to keep scrolling, but to stop. Moral of the story: quitting social media does not mean rejecting the world. It means choosing which world deserves your attention. It means giving your mind space to breathe, your heart space to feel, and your soul space to rest. Because peace is not found in the endless feed, it is found in the quiet moments we often overlook. And so, dear listener, remember this. The next time you feel trapped in the endless scroll, pause, lift your eyes, look around you, listen. Life is not hiding inside a glowing screen. It is happening right here, in the warmth of your hands, in the rise and fall of your breath, in the fragile beauty of this very moment. Social media can connect us, yes, but it can also consume us. And at the end of the day, the choice is yours. Choose silence over noise. Choose presence over distraction. Choose peace over comparison, because the greatest updates are not posted online. They are written quietly in your own heart. This was today's story from Spoken Chapter. If it touched you, share it with someone who needs this reminder, and return again for more stories that heal, stories that guide, stories that awaken the peace already within you.